Okay. Dude, I don't think putting my live stream on Snapchat does anything. I guess I'll do it on Discord. Okay. I'll do it anyway. Okay, I gotta make sure it's working. Yeah, it's working. Alright. I'm just gonna mute that. And the quality has not gotten any better. Because it sucks. I gotta find a way to pay attention to my chat. I don't know what my issue is. This is what I want to do. I want to play from 0 and get a new best. That's all I want to do. I have not played the first half of this level in a long time. Because I was trying to get 42 to 100. And I want to get 0 to 42 to get the level 2 guns. Dude. This part is not hard. I'm making it look so much harder than it is. Like, what is that? interesting. I gotta be really good at this part. I used to be. Like 2 days ago. I did it 3 times, so that was gonna be stupid. That's what I was thinking. Alright. Now I gotta get this. I gotta get through Michigan's part, and then I'm just gonna click a 0. And hope for the best. I mean, I've gotten pretty consistent with Michigan's part, but it's still stupid. Every click you have to do like early. It's so weird. Okay. Bro. One sec. Right. Okay. Yeah, that was way too late. Yeah, pretty much. What? Excuse me? What the hell was that? That was such a stupid death, but like, what? I just did 9 to 80. That's like, that's the longest run I've ever done. Like, imagine if that was practically from 0. Dude. Dude, that's unbelievable. That's 71% of the level in one run. Yeah, pretty much. Whoa, that's going in my list of runs. My best friend from 9 was like 2 Michigan. And then I just fluked all the way to 80. Hello? I mean, yeah, that's what happens with stupid runs from like near the beginning. You just kind of yeah. And anyway, we're gonna play this now. Should I even bother getting 33 to 100? Bruh. Bro, I swear, if I have some, like, insane fluke from 39... I could. Like, what if I just beat the level? Bruh. It's a quiet stream. I think it's past everyone's bedtime. We win. Why is this shift part something that I die to now? It's okay. How about I get 80% from 0, but not actually? I'd be happier with 79 or 100, but nothing in between there. Maybe 89. 92 will definitely be a little upset. But I'll take it. UFO'd too late. Bro. Alright, since there's no one in the chat, I'm gonna watch Doggy. If he's even still alive, which he isn't. I don't like you. Oh, please. Kill thine self. Something's not right with Deimos. Something's not right, man. Okay. I'll see you guys later. Goodbye. I mean, I want to keep the chat open, but like, I don't know, it's a little quiet. Let's put on some music. Oh, Edge of Destiny 79? Okay. What is he doing?
I thought I might just fluke the entire level, yeah.
It's a pretty good run.
Oh my god.
EOD.
Wow. That is a crazy new best. I mean, that sucks, but also, wow. That was really impressive. Let's go, dude. That's so hard. Oh, that wasn't even like that. Wait, no. Was this the click I was worried about? I don't actually know. That was the one, yeah. Damn, dude. Almost here. Wow. I thought I might just fluke the entire level, yeah.
That's crazy. Oh yeah, I have put some music on. Blackeron. Okay. Ground. I need something to do. Take my eye off the number. Gotta try. Leading myself. I really hope the lack of the Bloodbath music. Checking. In the back of my mind. In the back of my mind. I'm not wasting time. Let's do a little bit of an audio cue during that. Do that. I don't know, any good Hugbees videos? These Word Deaths, I already watched that. Smash Bros, AI. That one you kind of need to see. Whatever. There we go.
God.
As you can see, I'm ready for battle.
That's really cool.
I've all my checklists for combat in order. I've been blessed by my ancestors. I've limbered up with some stretches. I've already mentally prepared myself into believing that slaughtering another human being for living in a different country than I do is perfectly okay. And I've had a fulfilling lunch consisting exclusively of Doritos and Mountain Dew. Gamer fuel variety, of course. I've got to get a lock on those Call of Duty Vanguard dual XP codes. I'm also going to put this shield down because it is exceedingly heavy. But most importantly, I'm properly dressed. And no, I'm not talking about this luxuriously tailored suit that I wear for all instances of war and bedtime. I'm talking about this. This high-frequency, expertly calibrated, dual-action, divine-crafted Masubi blade is part of my uniform. The most important part of my uniform. Because I'm operating by the wartime wisdom bestowed upon me by the subject of this video. This video is about perhaps the most batshit insane soldier to ever live, who took combat as an opportunity to either play his own real-life version of Devil May Cry, or an opportunity to respec himself as a bard class and see how well that worked out on the beaches of fucking Normandy. But let's back up a little bit. Let's get a little context. And let's talk about the man who gave me reason to make sure I'm carrying around this 10,000 times twisted steel when I scuffle with an enemy, no matter the caliber of their gun barrel I happen to be sucking on. This video is about fighting Jack Churchill, otherwise known as Mad Jack. Jack Churchill was slated to be a military man his entire life. He graduated from the Royal Military College of Sandhurst in 1926 and immediately served in Burma thereafter with the Manchester Regiment. Burma is a country now known as Myanmar, and it's just northwest of Thailand. Don't worry, I got you covered. No one knows where shit is unless they live there. While digging around in Burma, Jack specialized in 3 things. The first was riding his motorcycle, and I mean he specialized in riding his motorcycle. Burma at the time wasn't exactly the epicenter of good roads. In fact, in 1909 they received the official Country with the Most Shitty Roads You Should Feel Bad About Having award by the World Coalition of Transportation and Roads, which is funny because it was their 4th consecutive year winning that award when the World Coalition of Transportation and Roads was only founded in 1907. Everyone knows that. Jack rode his motorcycle on a 1,500-mile trip through Burma, on both barely functional paved roads and dirt trails reminiscent to when you check your pubic hair happy trail after not showering for a week. At one point during the trip, he crashed into a water buffalo. The water buffalo wanted to be a real dick about it by calling the police and exchanging insurance for an unnoticeable fender bender. But Jack was quick to point out that the only bits of paint that were damaged could be easily sprayed over, and he would offer the water buffalo $50 for his troubles. And when this did not appease the large land animal mammal's stubbornness, Jack remembered that water buffalo have one weakness: a swift kick to the testicles. After an iron-toed boot roundhouse, he was on his way. During these years, Jack also learned to play the bagpipes. Out of every wonderful melodious instrument you'd seen carried around the war front, from guitar to harmonica to the trumpet, Jack heard the sounds of a goat vocal cords being strangled and said, "Huh, yeah, the bagpipes. That thing that sounds like when you take a fucking water buffalo and rip out its intestines through its anus. That's the instrument I should learn." He also wasn't Scottish at all. 0% heritage. Now, you don't have to be Scottish to play the bagpipes, but trying to rule out any connection this man might have had to the instrument constructed from the sound of a mosquito trying to yell its best impression of what the bells of hell sound like show you what kind of man Jack really was. But if you ask anyone who's ever served in the Army, ever, or the Navy, or the Marines, or the Air Force, they'll say that military service is fucking boring. Well, except for the Air Force. They'll say it was the most frightening experience of my life. The vending machine ran out of regular Mountain Dew and I had to get a diet one. It was the most fearsome combat my squadron had seen in over 50 years. So Jack, a rip-fire human with 10 times the sense of drive compared to an average man, decided to quit the Army to try out some more noble pursuits, including getting ladies to drop their panties. That's right. Up on the list of careers Jack went for after concluding that he could end more lives if he wasn't held down by an official army, male modeling was one of them. If there's any surviving pictures of him as a model, I'll put them on the screen now. If there's not, I'll put on some footage of something oddly satisfying behind me because, god damn it, content creation is becoming so fucking soulless. Oh my god. Statistically, you'll never make it. Jack also became a pretty skilled archer throughout his adolescence, culminating in him representing Great Britain in the World Archery Championships in 1939. All of this is relevant and building to something, don't worry. Oh, and speaking of building to something, 1939. Huh. That's a pretty important year. Something might have happened in 1939 that was kind of important, kind of a big deal. Oh, fuck. Finally, some fucking action, thought Jack. World War II was finally the fuck underway. And as a British man, he had all sorts of reasons to be fired up and pissed. Although Jack had ducked out to showcase his cock on the regular, he was still part of the reserve officer list. And I think the largest conflict in human history is a pretty dang good reason to be called back into active duty. And now, we finally get to talk to what earned him the nicknames Fighting Jack Churchill, Mad Jack, and It's Time for Jack the Ripper to let her rip.
I got 9 to 80.
World War II was arguably the greatest leap forward in technology for the history of mankind. You had 1,001 ways to kill a man, and those methods were only becoming more efficient with time. If you look at just the individual infantry soldiers' options, we have rifle, carbines, pistols, submachine guns, high-caliber machine guns, mines, shotguns, grenades, and grenade launchers, knives, and really any piece of thing that you've seen in any World War II fiction ever. Have you played the old Call of Duties? Have you watched Saving Private Ryan? That. But if your weapon of choice is Chekhov's gun, you can probably guess what I'm about to say next. Jack's weapon of choice for a war fought almost exclusively by guns, tanks, and bombs was a longbow. His rationale was that in the hands of a skilled marksman, such as, maybe someone who competed in the World Archery Championships, a bow was accurate up to 200 yards and was a near silent option of severing a man's jugular, and made him feel like his favorite superhero Legolas from Lord of the Rings, a book that would be a smash hit seller 14 years in the future. Oh yeah, big deal, you're probably saying as you skeptically fold your arms and pretend that you have muscles to hide how scrawny you are. So he'd carry around a bow. Who cares? It's just a gimmick. Dude probably never even saw combat with it. Fuck you, this is my video, not yours, and you're wrong. During one particularly silly battle, Churchill killed an approaching German soldier using his longbow, and then dual-wielded 2 machine guns, despite being shot in the shoulder, to fight back the remaining German soldiers as his company moved into position. Okay, so it doesn't say specifically in the research that he dual-wielded the 2 machine guns, just that he used 2 different guns in the fight. But this is mad motherfucking Jack Churchill we're talking about, so I'm going to assume that he was dual-wielding his fucking machine guns. But more importantly, you know how the longbow was a world-defining weapon and played a cornerstone role in pretty much all of the history's important battles ever? Well, that Robin Hooding of a man that Jack did is the last recorded longbow kill in human history. Now, the source for that is Vice News, former cutting-edge journalism empire and current clickbait farm, so...
I often try and put things in front of my camera that freak me out. Getting some flowers for a photograph I'm making.
Oh.
Might be true.
I thought that wasn't
Nazi Germany.
Photograph I'm often trying.
And current clickbait farm, so...
I often try and put things in front of my camera that freak me out. Getting some flowers for a photograph I'm making.
Might be true. Nazi Germany, a word that I shudder to use because YouTube may demonetize this whole video despite the fact that I'm using it in an entirely historical and educational context, tended to have its grimy claws embedded in nearly all parts of the European world. There was a sizable amount of garrisons, stores, and fish oil factories up in ball-shrinkingly cold Vagsoy, Norway? Vagasoy? Here it is on the screen. There you go. After finding out this fact, Mad Jack promptly put down his newspaper and said, "Oh, hell hell nah, and commenced a raid on Germany's northern Norway bunkers. To rally his men to stay optimistic while their testicles were currently finding a new home 18 inches inside their body cavities, Churchill blasted March of the Cameron Men on his bagpipes, and then started hurling grenades left and right at the Germans. It's not even specified if he did that once the raid began, or just started jamming out tunes and lobbying explosions on his own schedule, but the raid commenced successfully nonetheless. Hey, you watching at home, I'm breaking the fourth wall. I'm pulling a Psycho Mantis. I'm reading your memory card to find out that you like Castlevania, don't you? Right now I'm asking you a question, even though I'm slightly out of focus because my camera is focused for over there. Earlier I told you that Mad Jack was a skilled archer and a bagpipe enthusiast. He killed a man with a longbow, and he used a bagpipe as a signal to commence charging the enemy. Now tell me, knowing those two things and what I've mentioned throughout this video, what do you think Jack's third iconic weapon of war was? That's right, a full-size Scottish broadsword. Probably didn't have the gamer version though. Jack's claymore of choice was not the thing that you use in Call of Duty to get a bullshit-free unearned kill. It was the human-sized piece of steel you find in Castle Morn toward the southernmost tip of the Weeping Peninsula. And you better shut the fuck up if you think he held it for just aesthetic purposes. While slaughtering racists in Sicily, you know, the little thingy at the end of the boot of Italy that's permanently being kicked around, Mad Jack was able to send himself into a death frenzy using his steel Kefeeler, and proceeded to capture 42 German soldiers from an artillery team using only the sword. And I can now finally give you this quote that he had on the matter, and not have to pick up that big heavy piece of shit again. Mad Jack famously said of the incident, "In my opinion, an officer who goes into action without his sword is improperly dressed." Oh, also for that particular scuffle, Mad Jack was nominated for the Victoria Cross, which is the Medal of Honor but for Britain, which means not as valuable but a little more old, which is the 10th prestige for anyone who only plays Call of Duty. Fun fact, Jack didn't get his Victoria Cross, but he did earn the Distinguished Service Orders. Twice. Meaning he basically got 2 silver medals. Doing more world touring than JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 3 Stardust Crusaders, Jack shipped off to Yugoslavia to find another creative way to end a man's life while scaring the piss out of him. While playing Through the Fire and the Flames on his bagpipes, a nearby explosion knocked Jack unconscious. There it is. He awoke in Sachsenhausen concentration camp, and let's just say those places aren't made to help you concentrate on your homework. Initially, the Germans figured that since this guy's last name was Churchill, he must be related to Winston Churchill, the roly-poly jolly man shaking his jowls in the leader's chair of Great Britain. And so while they still tortured the shit out of Jack Churchill, he was locked up in a special super-duper big boy cell, which he escaped. Because he's Mad Jack Motherfucker Churchill. But he was recaptured. Probably because the German soldiers heard his bagpipes from over 20 miles away. This time they moved him to an even more secure prison in Austria, which he escaped. Yep. Details on this next part seem pretty conflicted. Jack hiked his ass off post-work camp escape to get away from the Germans, that's not of any doubt. One record says he walked 93 miles to Verona, Italy. Another says he walked over 100 and stopped to cook a vegetable stew of stolen Nazi crops to give him energy. Another claimed he traveled over 150 miles while limping on a bad ankle by sneaking aboard trains and hopping them to Verona. Doesn't matter. The important detail is he got to Verona and was picked up by some Americans, who spent the entire Jeep ride back telling him how America had been carrying the entire war on their back, and they without a doubt put the most effort into fighting and had the most devastating losses. No contest, bro. And so after all that crazy bullshit, Captain Jack entered his 40s, and it was time to do what any aging soldier does, and never give up, never surrender, and ask to be put back on the front with the most action. Fuck yeah. Mad Jack requested he be transferred to Burma because he wanted to stare the Japanese in their eyes and get a dozen chances to practice his badass, culturally insensitive but accepted at the time one-liners that he would use before ending a man's life. But it never happened. because just as Mad Jack had made it to the front of the Pacific Theater to finish the fight, Little Boy and Fat Man decided to make craters out of once was Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Mad Jack realized that although no man on Earth could stand up to his boundless energy, a nuclear bomb is a harder thing to tussle with. So he decided to stand back and let the explosions do the talking instead of charging headlong into the island nation of Japan. But he wasn't happy about it. He was quoted as saying, "If it wasn't for those damn Yanks, we could have kept this war going on for another 10 years. Which, if you think about it, means Mad Jack wanted this war to go on for as long as possible. And to that end, he enjoyed fighting just for the sake of it, which gives me 2 bullets in my gun of interesting facts. Number 1, Jack didn't really seem to care who he was fighting as long as he was fighting. And 2, the Metal Gear Solid series continues to be the most prophetic and shockingly accurate piece of fictional media ever written. So use some fucking context clues and you tell me what happened next. Did you say that Jack found a new war to fight in? Because you're goddamn right he did. Jack went over to the safest and most vacation-friendly city on the planet, Jerusalem. And he shacked up with the stationed British forces at the time to help them fight against the Arab army. He's credited to have saved over 500 lives after rescuing an entire hospital's patients and staff that were taken hostage during the Hadassah Medical Convoy massacre, which is exactly what and as bad as it sounds. After finally getting his fill of visiting foreign countries and fucking stomping the shit out of them inside and out, Jack returned to England. If you thought his newfound life of riding his motorcycle and refurbishing boats was going to be straightforward, then you haven't listened to me talk about Mad Jack Churchill. You were probably too busy vividly imagining what it would look like if you gave your mother cunnilingus until she orgasm pussy juice on your face. You weren't imagining that? Well, now you are. And now I've got to tell you another Jack Churchill fact. During this much quieter lifestyle, Jack managed to find a kooky way to fuck with people, as he often did. Whenever he rode the train home from work, he would often open up one of the windows, stand up, make sure everyone was watching, and launch his briefcase outside. Now, the part he didn't tell them is that he lived near enough to the tracks that he could throw his briefcase into his backyard as the train went by. He later explained he did this so he wouldn't have to carry it all the way home from the train to his house. If you're a 90-year-old British man who witnessed this in person and just had the tricks
Gonna end.